everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. If I sound a bit weird, it's because I have a really bad ear infection and I can't hear out of this ear at all, and I can barely hear out of this ear, and it's affecting my speech a little bit. It's also really isolating. For those who don't know, my late sister, that was me hitting my head, my late sister was profoundly deaf. And now I finally know a little bit about what it's like having hearing loss. Thankfully, mercifully, it's just an ear infection in my case. But I can't imagine what it was like for her 24/7. She used to get really frustrated about not being able to understand what was going on. And I've caught myself doing the same thing in the last, 24, 48 hours, not understanding what's going on TV, mishearing what people say, getting frustrated when things like subtitles don't work. So I finally understand some of what she was going through. I don't want to pretend that I understand everything, because I know I don't. But yeah, it's been very weird and isolating. Anyway, let me show you what's been going on in the garden. So my cucumbers are up, yay. The ones that are not up yet are my lemon cucumbers, which I planted a few days ago, so they're not up yet. But these are pickling cucumbers and these are eating cucumbers, and that was a bee. Just dropped down there. My tomatoes are doing incredibly well. They are growing amazingly, as are some of my peppers. These are some of my peppers that are growing. There's one here, that's from last year, but down here we've got some peppers growing far better, strongly. They're taking a really long time to grow. I've just put some watermelons and some melons in, because why not? This is a tomato that's doing really, really well. And where is it? This is over here. This is another pepper that's doing well. And this is another pepper that's going well. Is it? Yeah, it's a hot pepper, that one. And then over here on this side, we've got more peppers. My tomatillos are flowering. Check that out. I've actually got tomatillo flowers coming on both this one and this one. The other tomatoes are doing great. And this little geranium that I potted up a couple of weeks ago is growing nicely. So I thought I was going to lose that, but no, it's doing great. On the front here, this is amazing. My irises are out and they look amazing. And it's been lovely seeing all the bees coming out and doing amazing things. I've got some plants there to go in some hanging baskets, but my borders are looking great. And check it out. I have all the sunflowers coming up. I promise I did not plant them like that, but they're all coming up together in one batch. Some of my chickens got in here and were scrabbling around, and I think they must have knocked some of the seeds around a bit, because you'll notice there's clumps of sunflowers where there were none before. So, there's that. I'm going to show you my potatoes, because my potatoes are going absolutely incredibly well right now. They're growing really nicely, and I think we're going to have the best year that we've ever had for potatoes. I keep heaping up soil on these. Every day or so, I put some fresh soil on, and they keep on growing up. And in a few weeks, I think we're going to be level with the top. Same here with these guys. Although there is a little bit of water there from when I watered earlier, which I should probably get rid of, because if I have too much water, if I have too much water in there for the potatoes, bad things will happen. It's great news with the apple trees. I'm going to show you the apple trees. I wasn't going to, and then I changed my mind. Our apple trees are doing incredibly well this year, and our cherry trees are doing incredibly well this year. So our dwarf apple tree, I think this is like 4 different varieties of apple tree, 4 different varieties of apple on this tree. And look at the number of flowers that I've got. And we've got plenty of apples coming on, because we had a lot of rain earlier this year, and because I've been religiously watering at the bottom of the tree. I'm hoping that we're going to get a really good edible crop this year. Last year we got basically nothing. The same thing is true for our cherries. You see some lovely cherries coming on here. Very often what we end up with is that the cherries end up shriveling and dying off, but I have been providing these cherries with lots of water, this cherry tree with lots of water. I've been making sure that I've been watering it pretty regularly, and I think it's going to have the same good news. Same thing true here with my Gravenstein apple tree. We have 2 other Gravensteins, or Gravensteins, or however you want to pronounce it, in the garden, and we've got some lovely flowers just coming off now. So hopefully that will all translate into lovely, lovely fruit, and then we can make some apple butter and do all the other things. My volunteer parsnips, these are the parsnips from last season, are coming up and doing nice things. I've got some lettuce and carrots that are coming up, and then more parsnips here. I like parsnips, which is why I have so many. My rhubarb is coming on amazingly well, and I need to buy a new hose because my hose is leaking so badly that it's basically now spurting water sideways, which is not good. We are still, because some of you have asked, we're still waiting for the home integration system to get fixed. Oh, look at this. Ashley, what you doing? So I'm digging out to freedom. My chickens, bless them. We put up this new fence last week. This is the fence we put up. It is 6 feet tall, and there's one chicken who can still jump over it. So we need to fix that before the weekend. This is the work that's been going on the greenhouse. So my wife has been starting that work. It looks amazing. She's been working on, this is obviously one side, and we're going to go all the way down. You can see the orange marks where the greenhouse is going to be, and as we go down, there's going to be beds on both sides. Be nice and deep, and hopefully that will make it easy for us to grow lots of cool things. You'll see over here that our corn is finally coming up, and again we've been regularly watering it. Having a water pump, a well pump that actually pumps water, is seems to be the key, because last year our well pump was on the fritz and it died completely in the winter, but we just couldn't supply enough water to properly irrigate the garden every morning. We've been able to do that this time around, and you'll see the difference. So we've got the onions are growing really nicely and really strongly. I've got my sprouts are coming up amazingly well, and also my broccoli are coming up amazingly well. The leeks are doing great. Everything else is doing really well. And as I come through here, I've got some, I think these are more sprouts and broccoli, but we've got some peas over there that are really coming up nicely. These, I swear to you, these beans, I was out here this morning and half of these beans were out of the ground, and now there are even more. So one of my tasks this weekend will be, as long as I feel better than I currently feel, all of these need to have stakes put in so that they've got something to grow around. So I'll be doing that this weekend. And then over here, we've got my courgettes or zucchinis, whichever one you want to use. We've got some sugar pumpkins. Or there might be sugar pumpkins, and then these are butternut squash. That's it. I'm reading the label. Those are butternut squash, some sugar pumpkins. Then we've got some winter squash, and then we've got the big pumpkins, you know, for Halloween, because I've never grown my own pumpkins for Halloween, and I figured it was about time we did that. My broad beans or fava beans are doing great. I know that there are lots of weeds in this section, so just ignore all the weeds. The big things, they are not the weeds. Those are the fava beans, and they are growing nicely. I've also noticed someone has managed to get in. Look at this. That wasn't me. That was definitely not me. And so someone has figured out a way of getting in there. So I'm going to bring that down a bit so that people don't help themselves, because the local wildlife will do that. Oh, I've just noticed. You might be able to see, but these are my blueberries. The blueberry flowers are coming on at last. So that's really exciting because I've never grown blueberries before. And then over here, garlic's still doing amazing. And look at all the strawberry flowers. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowering strawberry plants. There's a couple over there that are flowering. So hopefully we'll get all the strawberries this year. I would like to have enough strawberries to make strawberry jam, but you need quite a lot of strawberries to make strawberry jam. Same with raspberry jam as well. Lots and lots of raspberries are required to do that. Let's check and see what we've got in terms of eggs, because I haven't checked today and it's getting quite late in the day. Oh, would you look at that? We've got three lovely fresh eggs. We use fake eggs to encourage the hens to lay, in a sensible place. And if you use fake eggs, even for older hens, they still kind of go, oh, okay, this is where we're supposed to lay. And it makes things a whole lot easier, because then you're not having to kind of have, issues with convincing the hens to lay in a particular place. You can literally just go, I would rather that you lay over here. And generally, if there are eggs already there, the hens, most of the time, will lay where they are supposed to. Anyway, every time I talk right now, I'm getting the weirdest pressure build up. So I am done for my chicken and garden update. There'll be a Sunday musing shortly if you want to find out about that. It's going to be quite a controversial one, I'm going to warn you. Anyway, on that note, we are done with today's video. Charlie is not done, apparently. If you have comments, politely drop them below in the comment section, or you can let us know your thoughts in Discord, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon, or if you are in the Patreon supporter group, you can reach out to us there. Don't be like Charlie. Don't just shout. Use your words. Be kind. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell, and follow the links to regularly support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, as well as that aforementioned Mastodon server. And I know it's been offline this week a little bit. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but we had some computer issues this week. Anyway, scrolling on my right is the list of amazing charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our Vita G Patreon supporters. They are Pedro Mora Pinheiro, Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hey Esker, John Trammell, Carl Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Regine Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Tesla in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Carl Hodgson, Chris Center, Denny Hyde, Lance Schall, Linda Irish, Mike Reeder and Paul Nelson. And finally, big thanks go out to our off-grid supporters. They are Paul Conway, Kevin Burrowbridge, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Ellery Hensley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, Chris and Michael Johnson, Clay Witt, CPU Freak 101, Eric Knack, Joe Bresney, Joe Hughes, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Jobnack, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course, Ian. Don't forget that we make videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday on the main channel, plus over here on a Sunday for the chicken and the garden update, and of course the Sunday musing. The Sunday musing is coming, as I said, very shortly, so stick around for that. I hope that your week has been a better one than mine. I hope that next week is better for all of us, and I hope that I get rid of this stupid ear infection, because the whole side of my head just feels like I've got cotton wool and I cannot hear a darned thing. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being patient, and until next time, keep evolving.